Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. Now, we've all seen the pictures, haven't we, of Moira getting gold eliminations, Moira getting gold healing, and everyone's like, oh my god, surely this is the most OP ridiculousness I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And everybody was like that until people started to get used to Moira and kind of how she works, but she still outputs a ton of healing and a ton of damage. But no doubt you have read the title of this video, and it does say Mercy is still the best healer in the game, and yes, she is, by an absolute mile. Now, I noticed playing in my games that a good Mercy would consistently beat me on healing output. I'd be very close, right? If Mercy did 10k healing, I'd have done maybe 8.5k or even 9k healing. It's close. It's not like Mercy's doubled the healing I've done. However, the guys over at Omnic Meta have collated a lot of data, and what we're going to do in this video is take a look at these graphs. So massive shout out to Omnic Meta, do check them out, they are awesome. It's omnicmeta.com. Now, what we've got here is the first graph. This is healing capability, and this shows you the healing output per match of Mercy and Moira, Zen, Lucio and Ana. Now, we're only really concerned with Mercy and Moira in this graph, and you will notice at every single level Mercy is beating Moira. Now, it's a lot of healing. Like, look at that. At like a GM level, a Moira is maybe doing 11k healing, and a Mercy is doing like 12,500 plus, so maybe 13,000 there. That's pretty ridiculous, but that's obviously really good. What this confirms here is Moira is a main healer. Moira, Mercy and Ana can be main healers. Ana kind of less so because it depends on what the enemy team have got. But Moira, well, her orbs go through barriers, don't they? So that gives her a little bit more sort of healing capacity. But of course, she pays for this with no range on her primary heal. But it can heal multiple targets at once. That's why she generally does a lot of healing. Now, the next graph we've got is defensive assists. This is Mercy's got the most defensive assists. Now, the way these are attributed are essentially through damage boosting people, I guess, for Mercy. The rest of the heroes, it's like, yeah, you know, this kind of really doesn't matter. This is Mercy's domain. This is where Mercy is going to be picking up a lot of the stuff. Now, I think Mercy's obviously always going to be the king here, so I don't think this is really too much of any kind of real graph to take any information from. Offensive capability. This one is quite interesting because notice Mercy's non-existent. That's because Mercy, well, she doesn't really have any offensive capability. I know. She's got a pistol. She can whip it out and do a bit of damage. But this isn't like Zenyatta or Moira, who we're going to look at here. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, Lucio, actually, he puts out more damage than the Moira. But when you look at the eliminations per game, Moira does a ton of elims. But is she doing a ton of damage? Well, sometimes, well, I say sometimes, quite regularly, I can get bronze or even silver damage playing just at a 4K level with Moira. It's just in GM and around that kind of level. That's pretty ridiculous, but is this effective damage? Because you're throwing your damage ball through the enemy team. It's sort of tickling them all, doing a bit of damage, it gets healed up, the fight goes on. Whereas like an Ana can just take out a Pharah. A Lucio can kill somebody in like a 1v1, I don't know, really quickly. Moira can do this as well, but those other heroes could be a little bit more potent. However, Zenyatta, he's the ballpark figure, right, for elims. He would be the support that gets the elims. And you look at this graph, and he kind of is, right? It's very close with Lucio, but Zen is actually just beating him. However, Moira has gone straight in there with like 25 elims per game. My record at the moment with Moira is 57 eliminations in one game. That is, well, kind of ridiculous. But then you've got to look at the way Moira works. Moira has to do damage to refill her healing. So if you're not healing, you're doing damage with Moira. And given how long range her primary attack is, and the fact her balls can literally be thrown the entire length of the map, she can always be doing damage to the enemy. That's why she's always hitting people, damaging them. Then if they get killed by DPS, she gets the elimination attributed to her, which is funky. The next graph is damage done. Now, again, the ones we want to be looking at here are Moira and Zenyatta. Zen is beating her for damage done pretty consistently. Moira can output a ton of damage, but Zen is always going to be the support that does the most damage. And this is absolutely correct because Zen, he's the DPS support, right? He has the worst healing, so therefore he does the most damage, right? He's also got the worst mobility. I guess you could say with Ana, kind of the same. Ana and Zen are pretty much the same, although Ana can nade herself, so it gives her a bit more survivability in close range combat. Moira, however, is clearly the second best support for doing damage. So we've got the second best main healer, the second best support for damage, the best support for eliminations. You can see how she really is quite strong, Moira is. Then we've got a very interesting graph. This is Coalescence versus Transcendence. So this is showing you the amount of healing they do per game. Now, Transcendence beats Coalescence at every tier, which you would expect because Transcendence does a massive load of healing to everybody in the range, where Coalescence, you can either do damage or you can heal with it. So there's a bit of duality to it there. And also, you generally only really heal one target, I found it, unless you're firing it through a massive team fight, in which case you're sort of just spraying it everywhere and hoping that you sort of heal people, which, you know, it is funky, but there you go. However, this final graph I want to show you guys is the usage comparison. So this is how often she's picked at every tier of the game. And you'll notice, right, that she's actually the lowest hero for pick rates with supports. Now, this is probably to be expected because she's a new hero. We don't entirely know how she fits into the game just yet. It was the same with Ana. Ana was never played, and then suddenly Ana was played all of the goddamn time. It was beautiful. But look at what's happening to Ana. Her usage is actually skyrocketing. It's more than Lucio, and it's more than Zen. In fact, it's very close to Zen at the GM level. Look at that. Mercy remains very consistent. Like, she is still super duper strong, Mercy is. So obviously she's been through a few nerfs recently, but she's still in every single game because she is really strong. I think she's in a way better place now because obviously you can outplay the Resurrect, which is great. So there you go, guys. That's Moira. We've got some statistics here to back up what's going on. I mean, my personal thoughts are it is a supremely fun hero to play. It works very well on a lot of maps. There are some maps it doesn't work too well on, and there are times where you can actually just play Ana and you'll be more effective, or even a Lucio or a Zen. And surely, guys, that's the holy grail with these new heroes. When we look at Orisa, her launch was not great. You look at Doomfist, obviously his launch was probably the worst. You look at Sombra's launch, again, like it took a long time for people to use that hero. Ana as well was the same. But now we're in a situation where this hero's come straight into the game. It's slotted right into the game. And you've got a selection here as a support player. You can either play Ana if you want to be, you know, the more aim-based support with a lot of different options, with a lot of kit variability. You can be Lucio if you want to be the guy wall riding, supporting your team, speed boosting in with a great defensive ultimate. You can be Mercy if you want to res people, if you want to do all that fancy stuff, again with a fantastic ultimate. You can be Moira if you want to do damage as well. Or, I mean, there are just so many options. This is a really good place right now for Overwatch support meta. Guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. Hopefully this video has given you guys a ton of information about the new hero. Mercy is still the best healer in the game, and she will be for a very long time. Moira is a pretty good, well, second best, I think. There you go, guys. I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Join the Discord as well, which is discord.gg/UnitLost, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.